to the actual makers.
Yeah. I mean, I presume this is what these guys at Christie's or whatever, these valuer guys, this is what they do for a living, is track this stuff down.
That's what I do.
Oh, that's what you do too, is it? Yeah, right.
That's the reason why, this one here, this book here is 1963.
Really?
Right, and it was actually done by the National Museum of Ireland.
Wow.
Now, to actually get that is a feat in its own right. Right?
I'm surprised these things aren't online these days, are they? No. This
is a more modern book. This was only done in 2000.
Right, yeah.
But in relation to that, people don't tend to really particularly publicise that they've done these works, and God knows why.
Yeah.
And you end up by hook or by crook finding this stuff out, and sometimes it's by chance, sometimes it's not, and sometimes it's reading publications saying about this particular book, and if you don't go and get it at that particular point, it's too late, because normally these are on very short production runs.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Maybe 200, 500 maximum, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's what you're up against.
Yeah, totally. I remember you saying too, it was something that you were saying that. I remember you saying the thickness of this thing was an indicator too. The thickness.
That's right. I mean, if you look at, your particular dial has had a bit of a tough life, because if you come around this side, you can see.
Yeah, a few nicks and chunks, and
you see how it curves as well. And I think that it's had a bit of a bang at some point.
Yeah. Maybe one of those grandkids has knocked it over in the hallway or something. Yeah.
Could be.
But yeah, you were saying that the thickness of the steel plate was something as an indicator.
Just in regards to a number of things, this dial itself would have originally been cast.
Right.
Okay. And it would have probably been a sand casting. And that's the reason why you tend to get a lot of this kind of matting.
Yes.
Although that can be done by tooling.
Yeah.
But in terms of the thickness of it, which earlier dials are thicker, but they also have, in very early clocks, a lot of structural issues because of the way they were cast.
Right.
And so, once they developed how to cast it better, you then ended up with structurally more sound dials. But better dials are normally thicker, but as you can see from this one, even this one tapers in places.
Yeah.
And that's just a common.
So did you say this is quite thin then, or quite?
No, it's quite thick.
Right.
Quite
Okay. Thick. Yeah. So that again gives an indication around about that 1690s to 1710s.
Yeah.
I mean, clocks were only invented in the 16.
Well, it was 1657.
I mean, this is just sort of right at the start of the whole thing, really.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
Jesus, it's amazing, isn't it?
It is.
Fascinating.
And from your perspective, it's very exciting. Because it's been in the family a relatively long period of time.
Yeah.
But also, it's exciting from my perspective because you don't get to see that many Irish clocks. I mean, I've been quite fortunate. I've seen in my short period of time maybe no more than 10.
Really?
Yeah. And bearing in mind...
Is that just because people tossed them on the bonfire because they got old, or is it just because they didn't make many?
They didn't make that many.
Really?
They didn't make that many. And they will always 100% be 8-day clocks. They won't be 30-hour movements. So, you're always going to be finding nice quality clocks as well. They're very rarely poor.
Yeah.
Very rarely poor.
Fascinating. Great. Okay, well let's...